Hey guys, welcome to Strategic Timeout, Fantasy IPL 2023 picks. We are going to talk about match 24, the Royal Challengers versus Chennai Super Kings. Traditionally, very sort of lot of eyeballs on the fixture. It's the Kaveri Derby, as they say. However, the record has been very lopsided. Being an RCB fan, I have felt the pain for a long time. But yeah, nevertheless, new season, new match. Hoping things change. But before that, we have to talk about yesterday's match, right? Rajasthan, at a time they looked absolutely out of the game. What do you have to say about it, Vishnu? What were your takeaways?
Yeah, man. Two favorite teams going into the match and coming out of it also same, right? Like both teams have such quality with bat, with ball. I think both teams are going all the way, and they showed it yesterday. And I'm happy Rajasthan won because they. I don't think they won against Gujarat, so
Yeah,
at least they got mental, block out of the way.
three out of three
But
losses. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, Hetmeyer coming through. What a player!
I know, right? Like
Finally,
once he
like
saw.
Butler getting out at zero, was always like, "Arey, now Rajasthan is gone," But
Same with Yashasvi,
yesterday,
right? Both the openers. Both the openers.
yeah, both of them got out so early, and they were so dependent on them, right? But with your Hetmeyer and all the other guys around Sanju coming through, I think Ara is looking really good to win after 15 years.
I agree. I agree. I think like their three prime assets, Butler, Yashasvi, and even Bolt, like all of them had a very off day. Even Ashwin,
Yeah,
who was man of the match, had an off day. Like, and
yeah.
you just see the others taking over, and this is something which was not seen that sort of often by RR last season. So this gives more freedom. I think more freedom to a Butler who's already so destructive. I am very very apprehensive of this team now. So yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
interesting match. So yeah, now jumping into the big game today, Royal Challengers Bangalore versus Chennai Super Kings. So Vishnu, I think both the teams have had similar sort of tournament so far. I would say two good wins, two losses. Both are at sort of at that stage of the table where one of them starts like pulling towards top four, one falls down. Do you see in any context any changes Chennai Super Kings might do from the playing 11 last match?
I think Magala is going to be a force change. I think he split his webbing or something, so I think he's definitely not going to play. Will be interesting to see who they go with. They obviously have Pretorius. Um, I'm not sure if they look at like a Santner or something or Ngidi. Yeah,
They
but
have
I mean,
NPD
yeah, they
also.
probably go with a pacer. Yeah, yeah. So they are. I think Pretorius is most likely to play. He's been playing for Chennai for a while. Apart from that, I don't see any reason for them to change anything in their squad. I think they have a very well balanced team, and of course, Dhoni would like to keep it that way. What about RCB?
RCB, I think, as you can see, the top order still Lomror also was not that bad. But after four, it's been a very, very long way. Karthik, Anuj, Shaba. Shaba still got a knock and did decently, I would say. But having that Karthik, Anuj spot, two sort of batsmen who are not at all firing. Anuj has been absolutely failing as an impact player. Karthik is nowhere close to what he was last year. But I think Karthik being the keeper and sort of obviously having that season last year gets a long rope. So Anuj Rawat is one I'll be really surprised to be honest if he plays. I'm expecting either they go for someone like Suyash. I'm not sure why is he not playing because he's on the field often. But Suyash,
Hmm.
or if they want to sort of go back to their bowler who has been sort of picking those crucial middle over wickets, considering Chennai bat really deep. So that might also come into the picture. But yeah, I think Suyash looks more probability because batting is somewhere middle order. It's not been great for RCB.
Yeah,
So yeah, having said that, what do you think will be the good picks for today? I think Kohli, Faf, the form they have been in, automatically sort of still remain one of the best buys, I think, in today's game. Apart from that,
yeah.
Gaikwad, right? I think Gaikwad is the other name. Who else do you go after these three obvious names as good picks today?
I think Moeen naturally is like a first name, considering again, right, batting 1 down, 2 down, max 3 down, coming to bowl. What about bowling? Do you think he gets to bowl many today, or do you think he's a
I,
little
yeah, I,
underutilized?
I think he comes in only maybe to a low roll because I think
Yeah,
not very sure because today apparently they are going to play on a fresh pitch. So it's not going to be the
yeah,
same 175 pitch where they defended. It's again going to be the 200 plus type of a pitch. And I'm not sure how effective Mohan will be because he can be absolutely taken to cleaners. But against
exactly.
Bangalore, and if we come down lower order, maybe a Shabazz. So yeah, he might still chip in with a couple of wickets. Yeah, still very close in
Yeah,
this thing. So
yeah.
what do you
I
think
think,
about Maxwell? Does
yeah,
not
I was just coming to Maxwell. I think Maxwell is a good pick. Um, Especially if it's that pitch which we are expecting, like the fresh pitch. If it does end up being a 200 plus pitch, if RCB bats first, especially, I'll be looking at Maxwell.
I think one all-rounder we have not spoken is Jadeja. What do you think about Jadeja? And even Hasranga, right? Like he's not an all-rounder kind of a player for RCB right now. I don't know why his batting is being so underutilized. I honestly don't understand. Him
Yeah, it's
coming sort
very
of, yeah.
surprising.
Otherwise, I think Jadeja and Hasranga, like, what do you think about these two players?
Again, I'm just very skeptical about the pitch. If it's that 200 pitch with not much to offer for the spinner, then I don't see either of them being very effective. But that being said, both are smart bowlers, right? Like no matter how the pitch is, they probably still manage to get wickets. So yeah, I like both of them as X factor picks. Jadeja again, same thing as Asaranga, right? He's just coming in too late to bat,
Yeah.
and Chennai's top order is in so much form, like Gaikwad, Conway, Dubey, everyone's in the runs, right? So it just makes it that much harder for Jadeja to come to bat. So you need to look at him more as a bowler who might bat, and same with Hasaranga. So their value as that all rounder is not as high, but they're still really good picks.
So you mentioned a couple of names, Conway and Dubey. I think we did not speak about
Yeah.
them. So like, do you think a Conway sort of picking up some form last three innings, almost 250s? Does he a more batting friendly condition be a good X factor because not many teams will go for a player like Conway?
Yeah, I think Conway on a batting pitch is sure runs, right? Like just the way he plays, he's a sort of a reasonably safe batsman. Technically very good. So on a batting friendly pitch, like it's gonna be very hard to take his wicket. Unless they're chasing like a 240 and he goes right off. If he's batting first or if the total's all right, I think he becomes like the anchor in that Chennai team. So I think fantasy wise could be a lot of runs. Dubey again, he's got runs, but he doesn't seem like he's gonna explode. Like I think he gives you those 20, 30 runs, but I don't think he gives more than that.
Yeah, I
What do
think
you think?
yeah, same. I feel for Dubey, that's is what my personal opinion. His role is sort of to come. What I thought his role is to just come and take on the bowlers, but he's not been able to do that. He ends up wasting deliveries. He gets confused in the middle. So, but yeah, he can always sort of have that one crazy innings, and Chinna gives that sort of flexibility. But considering even Rahane is sort of in the mix now, batting at one down, doing
Yeah,
well. So
I
I
like
think,
Rahane more than
yeah,
Dubey.
yeah,
I mean, he's looking so good, like really, really good.
I think the two middle order batsmen, both RCB, DK, and I would say a Raidu, I feel they are still an avoid. Like considering their roles in the team, not getting many
Yeah,
overs. DK one match he got more than 5 overs. He got out the first delivery, so I don't think so. Management again sort of sends him into that situation now. So having said
yeah.
that, I think DK and Raidu would
They
still
use
remain.
Dhoni as well, I
Dhoni
guess.
also, yes.
Yeah,
Dhoni, but has played so many match winning knocks at RCB, picked up so many man of the matches that I still feel have that fear of Tala coming to Chinnaswamy and sort of doing that. But yeah, I think in terms of fantasy, maybe Dream 11 when we come down to it, we can discuss more. But yeah, I think I agree. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I think we have only because it's Chinna and we have been speaking about how it's a 200 plus.
yeah,
I think we have just spoken about bats, right? Which is a normal thing to do maybe at Chinna and looking at these two teams. But what about bowling? I mean, there are some interesting options, particularly death bowlers in both teams sort of excite me, right? Like Harshal Patel, Tushar Deshpande, even your Siraj, all of them seem to have wickets in them. Maybe even Pretorius. So which two bowlers are you looking at for this game,
I
if you
think
had to?
as as I've been saying in a number of videos, I have been a huge Harshal fan. I feel that the success that he had over 1.5 seasons was over a certain type of bowling which he developed, which he's not been able to execute at that level. But those glimpses are coming back. That came in the match, the crucial over against Lucknow. Saw some sparks of that even in the last match. Still not nowhere close to the bowler he was. But what is a very good thing for Harshal is a lot of confidence in his batting, right? Like he's coming at five.
Yeah,
It's happened twice now in 4 games, which doesn't look like just a random move now. It looks like the team management is looking to utilize Harshal in situations when they do not want to send a DK. They've lost a lot of wickets and they want to sort of cover up those 3-4 overs and allow him to like absolutely uh, go hammer and tongs. So I think yeah, a Harshal for me is a very good X factor for today.
yeah. But that being said, right, somehow both these teams, even if you look at their last 3-4 games, like teams like Rajasthan, your Chahals and Bolts are getting the wickets. Gujarat, Rashid and Shami are getting the wickets. There's some sort of predictability. These two teams, like
Yeah,
apart from Deshpande, there's nothing, right? Like you don't know who fires which day. So there is that gamble which makes me a little wary of the bowlers. And again, obviously the pitch as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense to prefer batsmen in this game. But yeah, I think Harshal. What about Siraj? I think the
yeah.
problem is
I
he's
will,
bowling too well in the power play, right? And then tailing off.
I think, yeah, that's what I was going to say. A very interesting stat I was reading was RCB has been the best bowling power play team this season in the first five
Yeah,
games. And that is largely due to the performance of Siraj because his bowling partners have changed. A Willie performed well with him, a Topley performed well with him, a Parnell performed well with him. It's been Siraj who has still been that fulcrum holding, and he's become a different bowler altogether, right? Like his length has improved, power play is being now on the flip side, the strength of Siraj is matching the strength of CSK, which is their openers. Gaikwad and Conway are absolutely in delirious form. Gaikwad has been like just I think one failure because you can just see greens all the way. So I think that way Siraj, having said that he's having a great time, not sure how many wickets he'll be able to capture in his first 2-3 overs. And
yeah,
that is where the game is for Siraj, right? Because Siraj is going to at max get 1 over when batsmen are trying to hit him, which actually translates into a lot of fantasy points. What is happening with Deshpande, right? Deshpande is
yeah,
consistently picking up those two wickets. That's because in the death, batsmen over going at an over aggressive pace and like losing their wickets. Siraj is not getting that sort of overs, I would say. So I would not like put him even as an X factor to be very honest for today's game. Like okay, I can consider him as an X factor, but I would not like say he's a good buy as such because he's coming up
yeah.
with like really good form CSK openers and Rahane one down. So yeah,
Agreed. Yeah. So I think Harshal, Deshpande, Siraj. These are three three decent picks if you're going for bowlers in this game.
and yeah, what do you think about uh, our dear Mahesh Tikshana, right? Like, do you think he plays this game or they actually like not, if not a spinning friendly track, they like just keep him for Chepo?
Yeah, I still think he plays. I think Pretorius comes in for Magala, and I think Tiksha still plays. How he does again, it's just hard to say. But again, right, he's a very, very smart. Uh, however bad the pitch, like however unfriendly the pitch may be to him, I still think he manages to pull well. But I wouldn't go near him fantasy wise today.
All right. Okay. I think, yeah. So I think we have got some pretty good picks and some good X factors for teams to choose. If you had to captain, right, who would be your two safe captains, like bankable captains for today's game? Tough choices.
Yeah, I think the safe ones are between Kohli, Faf, Gaikwad. Like these three definitely are a notch above the rest. Moin, as we discussed, right, on another day, yes, but considering maybe with the ball, he's not up there. He's a notch below, but again, with the bat, he's been great, and I think like Chinnaswamy ground will suit him. And there's always an off chance, so he's the next name. Um, Anyone else comes to your mind?
No, I think
Maxwell,
I would
maybe.
also say in terms of bankable, I think these four are the best options. All form players. Failure might happen any day, but in terms of how they are playing right now, even Faf got out to a really great catch, right? Others we were not.
Yeah.
Even Faf would have actually gone, maybe scored a good 50 there. So yeah, and even Kohli got out to a full toss, which he could have had an innings where he reaches almost three digits. So top batsman,
Mm.
top form. I think no need to see beyond the three. And if you are wanting to see, Moen looks a good option. And yeah, I think in terms of safe choices, I think these would be the best. But yeah, we will discuss in the last segment about some of the bold moves, maybe for people looking to cover up in the league. But before that, we'll like just discuss quickly the dream 11 for today. So I think all the players
What
here
about
we have.
uncapped? You want to quickly
Oh
like
yeah,
cover
sorry.
uncapped?
Yes, we should. We
I
should.
think again there are good bowling options, right? There's Vaishak and there's Deshpande. Both are really good options. Deshpande obviously has given us a greater sample size. He's been taking wickets every game, so maybe a little more reliable. Vaishak but looked superb last game, but of course it's his one game. But I still think he looked really promising. I don't think there are any other options, right? You have your Lomror and stuff, but
Anuj
I don't
Raval,
think.
Lomror, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Either of them make it.
yeah. There's
But
Akash Singh as well,
yeah,
right, for Chennai. I
yes.
think he also looked okay. He's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you look at Deshpande and maybe you go with who bowls first, right? I think that's how you probably decide between Deshpande and Vaishak.
Absolutely. I think if RCB is batting first, you go for as we typically do. Even our users would have
Yeah.
sort of understood that. So yeah. So I think Vaishak, because the length he was bowling, the form he's bringing from domestic Ranji for Karnataka, very good pick.
Hmm.
Lot of promise in the first game, but then again he was against DC batsmen. So yeah, I think we'll need to see in this match how he goes through, and Deshpande looks more bankable right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming to the Dream 11, right? So I think a lot of players we have spoken. So it's a team where I think all of these nine picks right now are sort of self-picking themselves. Faf, Kohli, Gaikwad, Conway being a batting pitch. We have spoken how important the role of both Gaikwad. All the four openers would be basically bowling Siraj, Deshpande, and all-rounders. We have your Maxwell's, Mohans, and Jadejas. I think these are sort of players which pick themselves. Now coming to the possible differentials, right? If RCB is batting first, what do you think about the choices we have mentioned here, Vishnu?
I like um, RCB batting first, you said. Yeah, I really like the Pretorius Akash um, pick. Like, I feel like RCB, will start the innings well. Faf and Kohli and maybe even Maxi, get them to that, I don't know, like a 140 for three by the 15th, 16th over. And, then you have these death bowlers come in, and then RCB has shown they can fall like a house of cards, right? Like their middle order is pretty weak, and these bowlers can get a lot of wickets. So I think if RCB bat first, I'd look at Chennai death bowlers. So Deshpande we already have, but even your Pretorius might be a pretty good pick for Dream 11 if he plays today.
Yep.
DK, I'm still a little unconvinced to be honest, but I mean, of course, he still comes two down, three down, batting first, has the license to go for it. So he could, show a turn of form like Surya did yesterday, hopefully.
I think DK, I think more of like you need a keeper and sort of in the dream 11 and you go for a DK in a situation where you expect maybe he gets those 20 balls. But yeah, otherwise I'll be also like staying wary of DK if I'm not restricted to that. But yeah, I think yeah, great picks there in terms of differentials. And same thing with CSK, right? Like we have spoken about how Rahane has been in good form. Sort of he bats first, he
Yeah,
doesn't have that pressure of a big score. Like if Chennai are chasing like say 220, then automatically a Rahane does not come into the equation that easily. I see a Moen
yeah,
coming at one down, I see a Dubey coming at two down, a Jaddu coming at three down maybe, and Rahane sort of that role gets a bit muddled. So I'll be a bit
yeah,
wary to keep Rahane if they are bowling first. But if they are batting first, right, I definitely see him coming at one down, given what the
yeah.
situation is, unless the openers are playing till the 12th, 13th over. So yeah, so that way I think Rahane is a great pick if CSK is batting first. And again, the three death bowlers, right? Like Parnell, Veshak, and Harshal. All three we have spoken
Mm.
will operate there. Like you'll see a couple of overs of Harshal, Veshak because the form he is in, he might bowl there. If you want to go a bit more bold, otherwise I think out of the three, Harshal would be the best. Then
Harshal is
Parnell
the
and
safe.
then Veshak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the avoids which we have mentioned, what do you think about their status?
Again, it's that thing, batting friendly pitch. You have both teams have solid top three, top four. So, these guys may not get to bat. Shabazz has not even been bowling much. RCB have great bowling options, especially now with Hasranga back. So I think, these players, may not be involved in the game. So, you avoid them. Simple as that.
All right, so I think we have already spoken about some safe choices, some good bankable captains. Now, if you have to give me one or two bold captaincy moves, right? Like, who do you feel would those players be in today's game?
Yeah, and I think for today, like Dream 11, this is interesting because you'll have what, like my guess would be like 80% going with your Faf Kohli Gaikwad,
Maybe
right?
more,
You can
90%.
really, yeah, yeah. So you can really have a chance to win one of those bigger leagues if you go a little different. And there are options, right? Like I think one bold option in my mind is definitely Jadeja. Time and again, even in the last two games, people were like, didn't expect him to even bowl, and he came up and he just bowled those beautiful deliveries, like the one to Sanju, and looked like taking even more wickets. Like the last game, Moeen dropped a lot of catches off him, and but yeah, he looks too good with the ball. With the bat, he's still good. As you mentioned earlier, right? He might come up the order depending on match situation. So there's potential, and he's just a man full of confidence and form right now. So I think he's the first bold pick I have in my mind. What about you?
I think the bold pick I would say right now is Maxwell. I feel Maxwell, even the last match, Kuldeep, whom he has had a sort of a good matchup, he just failed. Otherwise, it looked like a Maxwell innings where he's going to score that huge 60, 70, to be very honest. The way he was playing, the way his shots were. And the only thing that deters me to Maxwell is I'm not sure why is he not bowling more for Faf.
Yeah.
But think today the packed middle order with lefties, with your Dubes and Jadejas coming in, I see that even a Conway, right? Like maybe he even gets a power play over because because the Pacers have like Chennai has played really well all the Pacers so far, especially Gaikwad and Conway. So they might go in maybe with a Maxwell and see if he can do. So that way, I feel a Maxwell becomes a good bold move. Any other bold move that you would like to sort of say?
Mm, I think next possible bold name on my mind is Conway. Um, Again, just because it's a batting friendly track, he comes up the order. Um, RCB's bowling, even though they've been best in the power play, is not the strongest. I think Conway gets runs, right. I think he plays that anchor sort of role, and he ticks along, and that I think could score big today.
Yeah, I think a lot of great options. I would urge the users, the fantasy managers, to keep a very close eye on the toss because I think it will play a huge difference in Chinnaswamy. Generally, teams
Yeah,
batting second have absolutely shown, especially in the night games, right? They can chase down anything. So that way, the pressure on the team batting first would post as massive a score comes in. That's where you get a lot of fantasy points, right? Through the bowlers, through the batsmen who are trying to sort of up the ante. So yeah, I think you can load in with the players involved more in the first innings. That would be sort of my advice to the viewers. Your first innings,
mm,
you are going to get points on both the sides, which might sort of not happen that much in the second innings. And predictability
agreed.
also reduced, like Felix in the second innings. So yeah, having
Mm,
said that, I think all the best to everyone and hope you have a great killing match, 500 points plus to all our managers.
yes, all the best, guys.
All the best, guys. Chalo, see you tomorrow. Thank you.